How you can use online Excel with your teammates or with your fellow teachers to track some data that normally you would have just passed around a piece of paper, or you would have shared a spreadsheet, but only one of you could work on it at a time. Really nice about online Excel is once you share it, it is live, just like Google Docs, just like sharing a Microsoft Word doc. Everyone can access it at once. So first example, I've got a random group of kids that some of the names I've taught, some of them I haven't. But in this one, I've asked all of the teachers to pick their top 3 students because we want to give an award at the end of the year. If you notice, I asked them not to fill in any boxes except for the 3 students they picked. So most of the teachers went in and said yes. Maybe instead they say, maybe I want to rank them. Maybe this is 1, 2, 3, whatever I pick. Doesn't matter what they put in there as long as they're only picking the students that they actually are voting for. So how it works, you come up to the total box, you say equal sign, you start to type in count. We are picking count A because we are counting the number of cells in a range that are not empty. So if all the other boxes are empty, we can use count A. So I double click on it. First thing you have to do is you got to pick your starting box. So first box, B2, Johnny could have received an award there. And then I'm going to hold down my shift key and go over to H2. Once I have the whole thing set, close my parentheses and hit enter. So Johnny received 3 votes. I can quickly just double check this. He got a vote in science, social studies, and his electives course, even though we didn't use the same convention of yes, yes, it still gives him his votes. Once you've done it for one student, you get to drag it down and it does it for all of your students. If, let's say, the social studies teacher is like, oh, Johnny had a bad day or bad week, so we're going to change our vote to, we'll give Ernesto a vote. It will update it in real time. It will affect Johnny's went down to 2, Ernesto's went up to 1. So I don't have to redo my formula once I've done it once. From here, if you want to just do a quick, okay, everyone's put in their data, we're all good, you can come up under the Home tab, go to Sort and Filter once you have all of it selected, and we are going to sort in descending order, and for us, that puts Angel, Bethany, and MJ as my top 3. Easy to give them their awards. All simple. So that was using the count A function if you only fill in the boxes that you want to be counted. Let's say instead, as a team, we put in all of their grades for this quarter, or we wanted to just put X's and O's, whatever we want to track. In this case, we are tracking their grades, and we're going to give a special prize, maybe a movie day, to students who have at least 3 A's. So this time under the total, this time under total we're going to hit, it's acting up, so I'm going to do it. Let me see why this is acting up. Let me make sure I have something turned off. Yeah, let's turn it off. Okay, so this time total, we're going to hit equals, and we're going to say count if. Don't know why it's coming up at the top right now, but we're going to hit count if. Okay, so with count if, this time if we look, it says range and criteria. So same thing to start. We select our first box. Okay, so we're going to select count if, first box, and then we're going to come over here. Okay, sometimes the computer just doesn't want to work, sometimes it does. Okay, so we select count if, and my first bit of the range is B2. This happened because on accident I hit command, so if I come back here to B2, I make sure I hold down shift, selects the whole thing. Okay, with count if, after you select your range, you put your, I don't know why, there we go. Okay, you put your comma, and then you have to put quotation marks. So if I'm only counting if they received an A, I put in quotations, I hit enter, and then I now see Molly received 2 A's. I can pull this down and see all my students. Now remember, our team said you needed at least 3 A's. Doing a quick look, I know this is not enough motivation for my team. We all get together again and we agree maybe we'll make it A's and B's. How you do that? All you do is you come up to your formula, and now we're going to put a plus sign, and we're going to do another count if. So count if, I can drag and drop, or I can just follow the formula. So count if B2 to H2, put a comma, and then count if a B. Super important, I can't just add it here because then they would need an A and B in one box. This is saying count if you see an A in the box or count if you see a B in the box. So I hit enter. Oh, I did something wrong. When it comes red, it's okay. It's just a slight error. I forgot to put the parentheses. Now Molly has 5 because we're counting her A's and B's. Same thing, I just dragged down my formula again. And now look, oh, maybe we should have just stuck with A's. Now everyone gets to go. Okay, so that's using count if as the formula shows. You can do it for just one thing. You can count if B. You can even use longer words, or you can search for names. I want to show you one last example. My team last year, we struggled with behavior issues in our class, and we didn't have a system in place to communicate throughout the day about issues. So we actually used this spreadsheet, and once again, these are random names. I did keep some of the old comments we made just for some real life examples. So how it would work if I started the day with Johnny in science, and he had a good day, it was fine, no problems, but maybe Molly, she acted up, and she was throwing, oh, not in caps, caps is a little intense, throwing her pencil, okay? And then I would put today's date. We're going to say it was 3/10, even though it was not. And that way, when she gets to social studies class, if she's having a bad day, one, her social studies teacher can see that we had issues in science and be like, hey, Molly, what's going on? Second thing, we can also just throughout the week track. And we as a team gave out extra awards to students who received only 3 strikes or less in a week. So same thing we did before. This time it's earlier, but I'm still going to say count. And I'm doing count if because I want only the X's to count. You can use count A if you're only filling in the boxes. But we say count if. We got our whole space. In parentheses, we put an X. Don't forget, sorry, not parentheses. In quotations, we put an X. And then we finish out our parentheses. So Molly received 1 strike. What's nice about choosing count if I put a space and then another X, it doesn't look right. So key thing, make sure you understand you can only put 1 strike per box. Other issue we ran into, we started writing these really long comments, but you can't easily see the kid's name when you do that. So a little trick that we use, sorry, let me pull down so we can see all the kids' strikes. If you put your mouse in B2, so not the top box, the first box where you're actually counting stuff, so not the titles at the top, not the names on the left, but the first real box. If you come up to View and Freeze Panes and just click Freeze Pane there, it will lock in your top row and your left column. This way, as I'm looking at Molly's, I can come over here, still see the comments, see her name next to it. Same thing, if I have 100 kids, as I scroll down, I still see those top categories. So it's not a requirement, but it really does make it easier to quickly see things day to day. So those are our 3 quick uses. You've got an example of us using it for picking rewards. You've got one tracking behavior. You've got one where we are trying to pick who gets to go to the fun activity. Count A, count if. Also, if you ever forget which function to use, if you just come in here and say equals sign and you start typing in count, let's say I pick count A, it will give me a little description of it, count blank, count if, and even if I click it and I'm still not sure, you can come up to where it's blue, click on it, And Microsoft will give you some examples. It'll give you a little walkthrough video and shows you how to actually make it work. So if you're counting multiple things. So if you forget, click on the blue hyperlink and you're good to go.